Hi, here's a quick video on what I am working on with the IT team. We've been working together on a app for that will connect to PGN so we can put iPads out in the shop on the assembly lines and let each user put the test data and any other data associated with the assembly process into PGN through an iPad touchscreen. So. Program we're looking at using is called Reflections. This will come loaded on the iPad once we get iPads out from PG or from IT. You're gonna have to connect. I'm assuming this will be set up for you already, but I had to enter this in. You have to put the IP address for PGN, and then brings you up at your typical PGN start screen. So let's go ahead and log into PGN. Okay, main screen. Let's do some. We have a testing screen. This screen is actually hidden in PGN right now. It's accessible for everybody, but it's hidden. It's the 07, and then which is the receiving and quality assurance menu, and then you hit X5. It's hidden right now. It will be live when we roll this out. We're still doing a lot of testing here and trying to get rid of the bugs before it's rolled out to everybody, but. X5, I've been working pretty specifically on the hyponic section of it, and we've got the hyponic section broken into each assembly station here in Kentucky, parts pull all the way through final assembly. So let's show you final assembly just to show you some idea things that are happening and how it works. 15, you're going to get the typical who's using the computer, just in case you have to change it to another user. And then once you get that, you get your assembly number in. So let's go ahead and type in the assembly number. We will be able to hook up Bluetooth scanners to the iPad, so all this stuff will be able to be scanned in. AKYL 4011400. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so this is a 1520 series hyponic. And then I believe it's 35-to-1 ratio. I'm not positive right this second, but I'll have to look it up. This has logic built into every step throughout the validation process. So the first one's going to be the grease type. This is a standard hyponic grease unit, so I'll put one in there for the standard hyponic. What that first logic base does is it checks the part number for the grease that's on the bill of material against what you select here. So if you select 2 for food grade or 3 for oil or 4 for low temp grease, it will check the bill of material to see if the part number for those greases or oils are called out on the bill of material. And then obviously 5 for not available if something is not being greased. So the amount of grease, this is set up in kilograms. On the bill of material, it is in decagrams. So this one asks for 90 decagrams, which is going to be 0.9 kilograms. It's also going to check the grease plug type. Are we using a standard black oxide grease plug, or does it call for a stainless steel one? This one calls for a standard black oxide. Check that your nameplate information is correct. Just a yes-no situation there. Then it's going to check for your plug-in bore shaft measurement. So in this case, it is going to be 44.45 is what it's looking for. It's basically an 1 3/4 bore, but there's logic built in. So I'll kind of throw this one in there. We'll go in backwards with this one first. So let's say 75.1. And then did you check the torques at the final assembly station? Yes. So before I go into that and show you the error, I want to show you some of the other options that are here. As you see up in the top right corner, it allows the user to go right into the F7 notes for that assembly. So when you hit the function key and into F7, it pops up the F7 order notes and it automatically populates the assembly number associated. So if you want to put in there I mean, something screwed up, it'll basically put it right into there for you. So go back to the menu. Then it also has the ability, you can see it verified the information was wrong for me. But it does have a direct link into the F8 screen, the DR, discrepancy report screen. So if there is something wrong with this unit, you can instantly go into the discrepancy report and put in a discrepancy report right away so we can pull that inventory out of stock or whatever the case is. So back out of that one, and then finally, this one is the one that has been the most benefit here. We have the ability to hit F9, and it pulls up the material that is needed only at that work center. So it's based on the code that is in PGN that you supply them with the location. This is point of use inventory at that location. So if you have point of use inventory on the line, you basically categorize that within PGN saying that it's point of use, and then within this program giving a specific location to it. But it pulls up the information that that assembler will be, or the parts that that assembler will be using at that workstation. So he goes through and he sees everything that's there. So he's entered all of his information now, and we hit the enter key to see if it's right, and it says, hey, something's wrong here. So it's got some information incomplete and goes through it. There is the ability to enter right through it, but it requires a password from one of the users. So in my case, I'll plug in my password and let it go right through just to show you what's going on. You have to go down and hit an S next to your the person, and then it overrides it and right through. So this is through the situation, even though it's wrong. Just for instance, something the logic may have been screwed up in BGN, but we don't want to stop the testing process, so we'll go all the way through and see what's going on. So I want to go out a couple screens and show you something else that this does that's really cool. So go all the way back out to the main screen, and I want to go into 6005. Let's plug in that assembly number, AKYL 401 140. Okay, so you can go into that assembly, and if you hit E there, it goes into your routing screen. So as you can see, it pulls up basically a timestamp when you went into that screen originally and then when you came out of that screen. As you can see, I played with it a couple times today, so there's lots of different steps throughout that process. But it starts the final assembly, it ends it, it starts the test, it ends the test. It has lots of different steps, and it timestamps it automatically. You don't have to go into that screen and do it as a separate function. So lots more to come. There's lots of screens out there to play with, but if you have a chance, try it out. I'm really impressed with this new program we found for the iPad. It works really well. You can make the screen full size. It really has been beneficial. We played with quite a few of them, and some of them were really challenging to see and touch from the operators out in the shop. This one is working out really well. It may change still. There's lots of apps out there, but this is an intro. Gives you a little insight into what we're looking for, and go from there. Thanks.